unlikeliest of circumstances, reverence within the humblest settings. God promises us He will strengthen us and help us, uphold us with His righteous hand. These warrior souls are saved, their spirits cared for. Some of these accounts are personal to me. My family's extensive military service has left imprints all over the world, with my relatives fighting overseas and far away, in past wars and conflicts, and up through modern history, from Italy and England to France and Germany, from the Pacific Theater and the Philippines, all the way to Afghanistan and Iraq. My blood carries the blood of those in my family who died on European battlefields like Flanders Fields and the Russian Front, and of those who served in our American, British, and Italian forces, and even the Sudetenland resistance. They are part of freedom's history, just like all who serve, and are part of my history too. My father was a commander in the U.S. Navy, an elite pathologist in the medical corps. I was born in a naval hospital and raised on a tight, loving ship. Lining our hallways were our family's military medals and awards, in between citizenship certificates and photographs from generations past, all thanks to my genealogist's mother. On my bedroom wall, surrounded by photographs of F-117s, F-22s, and B-2s, proudly hung a poem by John Gillespie McGee, Jr. High Flight. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of, wheeled and soared and swung, high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the wind-swept heights with easy grace, where never lark nor ever eagle flew. And, while with silent lifting mind I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space, put out my hand and touched the face of God. As I dreamed of one day slicing through the heavens in a fighter jet, I wondered, would I too be able to soar close to God? I wasn't aware that in December 1941, just 4 months after McGee began writing High Flight, he died after colliding his Spitfire VZH with an RAF training aircraft. At the young age of 19, McGee was already a combat veteran, having been the lone survivor of a Luftwaffe dogfight with leading German ace Joachim Müncheberg. His gallant service ended that same year, before he saw 20, and more than 3 years before the world saw VE Day. He lies buried in a small village in England, his coffin laid to rest by other pilots in his squadron, the verses of High Flight adorned on his tombstone. Less than 500 miles away in Suresnes, France, lies another young soldier in his final resting place, a casualty of the prior World War amidst similar global grief. Private First Class Joseph Lorenz was a member of the U.S. Army's American Expeditionary Force, Rainbow Division, who made the ultimate sacrifice at the age of 21, after sacrificing one of his legs earlier in the war. His tombstone has no verse on it, no poetry, only his name, rank, and battalion details, and the date of his death, November 21st, 1918. But the memory of his mother's hand remains on the top of the tombstone after she visited his grave alongside 350 other Gold Star mothers in 1930. His sisters, when she visited twice during her deployment with the U.S. Army Nurse Corps during World War II. And years later, his great-nieces, my mother. So it seemed a natural fit that the allure of service and duty beckoned me too from the glory of the sky. The long story short is that I was too small to be a fighter pilot, which required a minimum height of 5 feet 4 inches. Thus, I peaked at my Cadet of the Quarter award while in the U.S. Air Force Reserve Officers Training Corps, ROTC, at the University of Washington. But a different accolade was just as impactful to me at that young age, which came in the form of a simple anecdote by the detachment commander, a colonel. He told me he had gone to the renowned tulip festival in the Skagit Valley and noticed in a field of all red tulips there was one single yellow tulip growing proudly. "Cadet Compagno, you remind me of that yellow tulip," he declared.